Amanda here from createyourfuture.co. So today we have Megan joining us. Hi, Megan.
Hello.
Guys, so we've got an amazing success story for you. This success story is basically how to make someone fall madly in love with you. Like this client, she turned it completely around where he didn't want anything to do with her to now he's taking her on vacations. And yeah, so we're going to read the success story. And of course, afterwards, we're going to go through what you can do in your life to make your manifestation happen and to create your specific person falling madly in love with you. So yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to just paraphrase it because sometimes I go on and on my reading. So I'm just going to paraphrase it. So yeah, so this client, I've been working with her for a while. And last year around the same time we were reflecting because she just got back from vacation for like the second or third or fourth vacation they've gone on. And she was just reflecting a year ago at this time, he wanted nothing to do with her. I mean, kind of, friends with the benefits, like kind of want to talk to you when it was convenient for him. She went like 3 hours to go visit him. He didn't like really give her the time of day, just said, don't really have time for you. She got her feelings hurt, all that stuff. But here we are later and they're going on vacations. He's giving flowers, he's buying her gifts, telling her that he's madly in love with her and that she is the most amazing person in the entire world. They cannot think of being with anybody else, that they just click and they just have the most amazing time all around together, that she is his special person. And they went, again, mind you, went not just a vacation, went from not wanting to see to coming over almost every single day. They're seeing each other every single day. And talking for hours and hours on the phone. So I know everybody wants that. You want that, and it can really happen. And it's possible for all of you guys. And it's through, going through your blocks, the mental diet, change your conception of yourself and the other person, and just kind of understand how manifesting works.
Yeah, no, you totally nailed it. It's so funny because it's, if you don't know what your blocks are, you can either tell somebody and they'll point out what stories and what thoughts are blocking you. Or, you can take a look at what's in your reality and what's reflecting back. And then that'll actually show what your blocks are. Funny story in my life. So we're looking to buy a house right now. And so okay, this is crazy. So the first one, I was like, yeah, I want it. And like, oh, there's a bidding war. Okay, that's fine. I went to go look at one like yesterday, and you know what? It was fine. Just send in your offer. But then all of a sudden, when I said to myself, I want it, all of a sudden my realtor was like, oh, by the way, there's going to be a bidding war. I'm like,
oh my gosh. That's hilarious.
Right? Like, I mean, what am I putting out there, right? So, and this is a really good example of, honestly, I've never gone to buy a place. I don't know what my story is. But sure enough, you know what? Obviously, there is a story, and there's a story of, some sort of bidding war thing going on that I need to clear up. So if you're not sure what your story is, listen to, like what you're telling other people, or look at what your reality is reflecting back to you. So incredibly important, Yeah.
Yeah. And something I wanted to add for that too is she's so good at not reacting. So, we always talk about going on the court and getting the feedback. So she'll actually listen to the feedback and not overanalyze it, because some people go and overanalyze that whole entire thing. And then we talk about it, but she's able to not react, see what's happening. And then a week later, she changes every single thing because she doesn't react to anything that's happening. And I think that's so amazing. So, and that takes discipline and diligence to do that.
Yeah, it's about reacting comes down to thinking it's hopeless, thinking it's impossible, and giving it so much more power than it needs to have. Like, it really doesn't need that much power. It's just feedback. You just look at it, you're like, okay, that's something I need to change, not worry over, I think when we're reacting, we're forgetting that we're God and everyone is you pushed out. We're stepping out of that and we're now into it, and we're interacting as that's really happening, but none of this is really happening. It's all just an illusion that we live in, right?
Right. It's not happening to us. We're actually creating it all. That's such an important point that you just said. Absolutely.
Yeah, just to just keep practicing that. And you know what, how I stop reacting is I tell myself, look, you know what, I'm good enough to have what I want. It's only feedback, and I created it so I can change it. Right. So instead of like freaking out, okay, let's use my example. Instead of freaking out, oh, there's going to be a bidding war. I can't believe this. What am I going to do? Why didn't he say blah, blah, blah? I'm just like, no, you know what? No, I'm God. And guess what? No, I'm going to get it anyway. There isn't. Nobody's going to want that place but me.
Exactly. Instead of going with fear. And it's not that, you know, there's not that you might have a negative thought or this might happen, but the important thing is staying on top of it, realizing you can change it and you don't have to give it, like you said earlier, so much power at any point. You know, sometimes I think a lot of clients I feel, or a lot of people, but I get a lot of things that people feel like they're so anxious about their thoughts, about their negative thoughts, you know, but if you can flip that around, actually think how powerful you are and how you're able to change any situation, like you just said, that you can have anything you want in your reality and use that in a positive way as instead of a negative way, you could really create your entire world how you want to.
I'm completely, oh, totally, completely. Like you know what? That's the worst thing that we could do, is to be worried about our negative thoughts, because now we're just giving them even more power than they already had before. There's no such thing as positive or negative. There's just focusing on what you want or focusing on what you don't want. Nobody knows what you do and do not want except for you. But it's simple. You just focus on what you want. That's what ends up coming into your reality, right? So incredibly important not to over focus on something. I think you brought up a really good point in the beginning of the call about, you know, having help, getting coaching. I was in coaching for a few years before I even started all of this, and now I'm really good at coaching myself. But I think it's really important to have somebody, you know, if not yourself, keeping you on track. And that's what coaching does. It's not just a one-time thing. It's a continual thing. I was in a 2-year Everyone Is You Pushed Out course with 2 years of continual coaching. But you know what? I got to be an expert at it. You know, I've got to bounce things off of people. You know, now I'm in such a mindset that I know everyone is you pushed out. And I'm like, and, you know, but when I started, I thought I was crazy. Now, now when somebody says you're crazy, I'm like, oh, you're crazy for not believing this. Like, I know different, right? Because I was been around, and I had that weekly support, you know, every single day, that brought me back into this and said, smack, Amanda, what are you doing? Like, you know what? This is not happening to you. You're not the victim. Change your story, right? So, you know, I think that's also very important to remember, no matter how you do it, whether it's, you know, your own reminder or you've got support, that you've got to keep reminding yourself and keep on track with this, right?
I think you're so right, because I do have clients who come to me, you know, I have weekly clients, and I think that's so smart. They actually have written down things that they want to talk about, you know, and it really helps. And I can see the growth. It's almost like if you were to go for anything to be accountable, weight loss, or, you know, like if you're going to play basketball, learn a new language or anything like that, you have someone that's holding you accountable there, and they're talking about, say, hey, this is what worked, what didn't work. How can you help me tweak it? And I think that's so important.
But you know, and that's, you know, it's funny. It's like the same thing if you want to be like, you know, in like, I don't know, like the Olympics, right? Win the gold medal. You don't just go to a coach once.
Yes.
I only want one coaching practice session, and I'm good, right? Well, fine, create that if you want to create that, right? You know,
Yes.
a lot of times it takes that continuous immersing, right? But I mean, again, guys, you know, you can do this on your own, right? You can coach yourself as well. But I guess what we're saying is find a way to hold yourself accountable and find a way to keep yourself, you know, in the mindset that you're God and everyone is you pushed out, and that you do create, because it's a continual reminder of that. Like, you know what, just today, something happened that I was like, I created like last week, I was like, oh no, da 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 da. And then sure enough, guess what? It manifested this morning. And then I was like, yeah, you know what, why am I ever worried about anything? You know, these are the things that like help to get you back in that mindset. So create those lists of little tiny things that don't matter, that prove to you that this works. That's a great way to coach yourself as well, because, you know, as soon as you're like, whoa, wait a minute, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I tell people that all the time. That's what really taught me, was just basically creating the list, but also teaching myself how I manifest, you know, because I think everybody is someone a little different with it. So I think it's so important to go out there and figure out how you do it, how everybody's you pushed out, how figure out how things manifest. And also, I think I watched a video that you might have had with somebody else earlier today, just about the fact of just keeping it, you know, keep yourself going in that momentum. It's so important.
Yeah, that's so true. That is so true. On so many different levels, you know. You know, and the other thing I think we want to add in here to throw some more value in is, you know, is your client went from friends with benefits to, you know, having him fall madly in love with her. Let's go back to the subject that we were naming.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, basically persistence of changing that story and assuming that the person wants to be in a relationship with you, because they're you pushed out. So if you assume that they want to be with you and they're madly in love with you, then they will be. If you assume that they just want friends with benefits, then guess what? That's all they're going to want. So that's the end that you have to choose to live from. And you choose your end with every single thought you have. Every thought actually stacks up to either the end that you want or the end that you don't want. And you want to shift enough of those into the end that you want, right?
Right, and you're thinking it anyway. You're thinking all day, so you might as well go with what you want to create. And you're so right. You know, some people get stuck with reacting. Oh, they just want this. They just want this. They just want this. Look what's showing up. But that's where it's like, no, take those thoughts. No, I am worthy of having this relationship. This person does want a relationship, and things can work out. Whatever you want to say to yourself, but redirecting that over and over again. You're right, stacking those thoughts up and realizing you can change that. So yeah, going from friends with benefits to having someone chase you and be madly in love with you, you can do that. All of you guys can.
Right. And one thing to stop reacting is to change the meaning that you're giving the person's behavior, right? So you can go with some friends with benefit and you can say that he's just using you, and then that's going to make you react, be upset, and live from the end of rejection. Or you can change the meaning that, well, it's friends with benefits right now because he's not quite ready to be in a relationship, but he is going to want to be in a relationship. That's why that's what this is leading into. Now, if you say, well, look at, you know what, he might have some baggage he needs to work through, that's going to be less of a sting than going straight to the rejection. You know, so always give the actions a meaning that makes you feel good, and it also gets you closer to what your goal is, right? Rather than reacting. So it's not ideal to say he has baggage, but saying he has baggage is a lot better than saying he just wants to use you.
Right. It's the lesser of the two evils. Yes.
That over, right? But if you can go straight to, okay, you know what? This whole reality is made up anyway. I'm just being silly. I can easily say that he wants to live with me and be madly in love with me as easily as I can say he's using me. So I'm just going to flip over to madly in love with me. Then by all means, definitely do that, right?
Yep. Good point. Really good point. Absolutely. 100%.
You know, if you believe it, then you do it. If you don't believe it, take the steps to start shifting your evidence over. And that's what we help you with here, guys. We've talked a lot about coaching on this call. So that's what we do in our coaching calls. We help you to create the new story. We help you to create intentions. We help you to shift things believably and start getting momentum and, you know, start shifting it over. So, you know, definitely. So whether it's us or something else you do in your life, some ritual, then, you know, just keep yourself on track and accountable. And, you know, that's the most important thing here. You know what? I mean, we're so lucky that we get to talk with each other, the coaches here, you know, so you keep you know, everybody pushed out. But, you know, I couldn't imagine, you know, like when I didn't have anybody, you know, I went for a course for 2 years and took coaching for 2 years, and, you know, and knowing that you're not crazy and that you've got people helping to guide you to learn it is, you know, makes a huge difference, and it definitely speeds things up. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's a whole mind shift. I mean, you change your whole mind shift. So you're exactly right.
Oh yeah, now you know what? Now nobody can sway me. Someone's like, "Oh, everyone is you pushed out. That's crazy. You're crazy." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not the crazy one here, but okay." You know, I intend that they believe in everyone as you pushed out. Okay, done, right? Like, you know, it's helped me not to second guess or question my powers and who I am and what I'm capable of doing, right? So, you know, so that's always the biggest thing, is to get enough experience that you don't question it. Like if you were like, you know, this like great, you know, like figure skater, you know, and somebody told you that your form was wrong, you would be like, what? I won a gold medal. Like, what do you mean? Like, so that's where you want to get to. You want to get to be professional at, you know, creating and an expert, right? So.
Absolutely.
Awesome, guys. So we're just going to recap quickly. Okay. So to get them to chase you and fall madly in love with you, change the story about them. Make the assumption that they do want to be with you and do not react. Okay. And how you stop reacting is you change what you're actually making it mean and their behavior. And also you want to make sure that you have something in place to keep you continually reminded of, you know, your goals, basically to keep you on track. You know, coach yourself some way, have some sort of things like creating a list that you're constantly reminded of your power and that, you know, everyone is you pushed out. You know, meditate weekly, you know, have some sort of weekly ritual that, you know, reminds you. Some people have like talisman, which are like little rocks or something, or like, you know, a keychain or something that reminds you and just brings you back, a Jerry doll.
Right. Absolutely.
A Megan, she is available for coaching. You can have a Megan that reminds you as well.
Yes, I can help you with that.
Anyways, guys, Megan's still having a sale. Definitely check out the link in the description below. Thanks so much for being here, Megan.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Have a good day.
Awesome. And you guys, thanks for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.